go to school. I'm gonna go to college and play basketball. I'm going to the league. Like this, literally the only thing I thought about was basketball and how I was going. And then when that doesn't happen, my world felt upside down.
Point instead of just saying. Sometimes the parents come off as you should or you should not do this, right? A mentor is going to tell you, hey, these are the things or reasons why you may not want to do that or whatever that is. I think, again, parents are more direct in what they're saying.
I think you're right. It's guidance versus direction.
Direction, correct.
Halloween used to be fun, man. As a kid, like, we just used to be out.
Just out.
Just thugging.
Just out.
Yeah.
Just mobbing.
I feel like they don't even get that experience now.
No.
What's good, y'all? It's the Triple F Podcast, Fly Father Fraternity. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Ty.
Marcus.
Dre.
And we got another banger for y'all. You feel me?
You gonna kill it with that one.
Man, I got to. You feel me? Another banger. This is episode 4, I believe, right?
Yep.
Episode 4.
Yeah.
Let's get into it, man. How y'all doing? How you doing, Marcus?
Me, man, I'm good. Waiting on my little one to come out, you know.
Yeah. What was his name?
Nice try.
I'm like, oh,
hey, for a split second.
I'm like, we saying it on the podcast.
For a split second.
Exclusive.
Nah, ain't no exclusive. Say no exclusive.
You do have a name picked out, though? Okay.
Yeah, we just holding that one.
Okay.
But yeah, he's due next Tuesday. We was hoping he would, you know, the closer you get, you just ready for him to come on, but due next Tuesday. Yeah, I'm good, bro. That's really all we focus on right now.
Yeah, I heard that.
Just working and just, is he coming today? Is he coming today, you know?
Got the bag packed and everything? All you guys bag packed?
We got 3 bags packed. Man, we got a water jug.
Sound about right.
We got a whole bunch of stuff.
Clutch,
it really is.
Water jug is clutch.
Yeah, I would assume we ready, for real.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
What's up. What about you, Dre?
Good. Just busy at work, and then the kids. Older one finally started school this week, so that was a whole process in itself. She's at a new school, so now everything's a little bit mellowed out. Tonight's a parent-teacher night, so we're going to find out.
Okay. Oh, yeah, okay.
That's exciting. I can't wait till I go to one of those. I don't know why. I just feel happy to do it.
Yeah, that's all it is. Just being on the little school campus for your kids. That's cool. Yeah.
Yep.
How about you?
My baby was born.
Yeah.
Yep. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. I mean, I'm sure the viewers would love to hear it was a baby girl.
Yeah.
Baby girl. Her name was Alea Reese LaCour. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
LaCour Brown. Full name. You feel me? Full name. Man, it was crazy. The whole experience was crazy. From when we got to the hospital, Janae, she went in there expecting to get an epidural. She did end up getting one, but like,
it happened so fast?
It was, man, she was dilated 5 centimeters, and it went to 9.5 in 20 minutes.
Oh.
So they were preparing to get the epidural, but like.
Sorry.
No. They still gave it to her.
Oh.
They still gave it to her. I don't know I don't know if that's legal or not, but she was going through it, so they gave it to her.
Yeah.
Baby came out. She came out, and it was like, doctor was like, Dad, what is it? And I was like, didn't say a word. Like, Dad, what is it? And I'm like, man, it's a girl. Man, it was crazy. It was crazy. I was 100% sure it was going to be a boy, and it was, got a baby girl.
To quote you, I only make boys.
That is what you said.
I only make boys.
Look, I thought I only made boys.
Yeah.
But you know what? God's plan.
God's plan, yeah.
Yep. He had a different thing in mind for us. So, we're happy about it. I got a boy and a girl now. So.
Fire.
So now we're all even. We all got one. Well, sorry, we're not all even. You two are even. I'm the odd one out. So,
yeah.
One
boy, one girl. But it's good. Different experience.
It's kind of cool, though. I get to say I'm a girl dad. You're going
to love it, bro. You're going to love it.
I was jealous of people who was able to say that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And I got the best of both worlds.
Absolutely.
Yeah, bro.
That's cool.
But speaking of our kids, man, we're getting closer and closer to holiday season. One of those holidays being Halloween.
Yep.
Y'all letting y'all kids trick or treat?
I do.
Yeah, for sure. My daughter loves trick or treating. Halloween's her favorite holiday.
Yep. Same, I think. Obviously, well, I won't say obviously, but the most obvious one, Christmas. I think just because the gift aspect of it. But other than that, Halloween, and I think that started with my wife. She loves Halloween as well, so she makes sure she get the kids hyped up for costumes and do the little decorations, so they love it. Yeah.
Y'all go all out with decorations or what?
So we've been together for, I don't know, this year I'll be married 9 years. For the last 8 years, I have not been a big proponent of like, I'll let you decorate the house. And this year was the first year I told her, like, go do whatever, spend whatever, get the decorations you want to get, all the Halloween stuff. And it already started, so.
It already started?
Yeah,
August.
she's
What's
already.
today?
Huh? Yeah, no,
August what?
she already, but she one of those ones that like, you might be in Target for a whole nother situation. And then she's like, oh, but wait, I saw something over here. And you know how it goes.
Is that just a woman thing? I hate to be this way.
Nah, it is though. It is.
But I
It
mean,
is.
I think it is, yeah, I think.
Because Karis was talking about we need to start fall decorations earlier today, so I can't even talk
Yeah,
for real. Like,
yeah. It's part of it. So I told myself this year, I think the reason I said I'm willing to just let you do your thing is because I got kids, so now I gotta be a little bit more free because they enjoy it. I don't want to take anything away from their enjoyment of like, man, it's boring around here. There are no decorations or nothing, so I'm gonna let them do it.
I feel like.
Yeah. How about you? You let your
Yeah, I mean, I loved Halloween growing up as a kid. You know what I mean? You know, get the candy. That was always my favorite part.
man.
Yeah.
Getting the candy.
Dad tax this year now. Dad tax.
Man.
Dad tax.
first? You
Yeah.
gonna do it
Oh,
first?
Hey, look,
huh?
I ain't never
You picking
heard
your
of
stuff out first?
Oh, absolutely. And I'm making sure they get an abundant, amount so that when I choose, I can have enough for myself.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I ain't never heard of that.
That's a
Dad tax? Oh, well, yeah, but your son's only,
It's gonna be my second
17 months?
18 months.
18 months.
Yep.
So it's
Yeah.
like once he really start going and walking up to the door by himself, then that dad tax really gonna kick in for everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
that's
Really?
hard.
You do it?
I don't be touching it for real, but hey,
Aw,
you got me
here
thinking
we go,
about that
Mark.
now. No,
Come
you got
on.
me thinking about that now. The thing about it, my daughter usually spends Halloween with her mom.
Okay,
so
okay.
That's kind of their thing, but yeah, I hear you on the dad
Yeah,
tax
I
for
mean-
sure.
Let me ask y'all a question. What kind of candies y'all buying for y'all house to give out?
I don't buy candy. We don't buy candy. I live in an apartment, so we don't buy candy to give out.
Man, we done bought good candy the last couple of years, and
You
the kids
you
don't even be coming to the door no more. We be buying the good stuff
I was
now.
gonna
Like
say, yeah.
it don't be Tootsie Rolls and
Yeah,
like
it be
stuff.
the actual
We actually be like, okay, what would
Sour
I want
Patch
as a kid?
and-
Yeah, like good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but kids ain't been trick or treating. But now that we're in a new neighborhood, we'll see this year if they actually out there. I don't know, but
Nah, I feel
it
that.
seemed dead.
It seemed like, because we took Kate trick-or-treating last year around the neighborhood, and it was like, there
Not
were
a lot
some
of-
kids, but like, I don't know where these kids be at, because
Yeah.
I know they be excited about it, but maybe it's like community events that they go to instead of door-to-door,
Yeah.
you know?
And a new thing is, which I'm kind of cool with, but I see that they do a lot of more community events, but they do a lot of the like trunk or treat now, like where it's just like one collective of,
Like
at
a
an
church or
area
something.
church, community park might do one where they got all this stuff in one location. So I think that's where a lot of parents, right, it's kind of convenient for them. So I feel like that might be why the neighborhoods aren't as packed anymore.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Halloween used to be fun, man. As a kid, like we just used to be out,
Just out.
just thugging,
Just out.
yeah.
Just mobbing
I feel like
with
they
groups
don't
of-
they don't even get that experience now.
Nah.
Nah.
You guys have your costumes, the kids' costumes picked out already? Y'all know what y'all...
Nah, I don't know what she's gonna be yet.
I don't know yet, but I know it's gonna be some sort of theme. Last year we was Cade was Stitch, Janae was Lilo,
yeah.
and I was Mr. Bubbles.
Oh, you do the
That was
family
hard.
thing?
That was
hard. Apparently we do.
I mean,
you feel me?
I've never... They want me to do it, and I say no every time.
You
So
too cool or something?
Wait. Hold on. Time out. You gonna paint your nails, but you can't put on the costume
No, I
on
don't.
Halloween?
Man,
And you want all the
okay,
candy?
hold on.
And you want all the candy?
Hold
No,
on.
bro.
No. Hold on. I don't get dressed not because I don't think I'm too cool, because I think I'm too cool. I just don't. I think the reason I don't dress up in costumes with the whole family thing is because, number one, when I go look for costumes, they don't have my size. So let's just start there.
Look earlier. Well, we
Look
the same
earlier,
size.
what?
And you could do like a
I can't
makeshift-
find average clothes
you
in my
could do a
size half of the
makeshift
time.
costume. Like it ain't got to be a store-bought costume.
Now I'm not doing no makeshift costume.
You could. Last year, your costume was like a suit and like
Yeah, a suit, and I put on a little.
didn't come from the
like
Halloween
a brown
store?
ball cap looking thing.
yeah. Get creative, big dog.
I'm gonna reach out to y'all. See,
Yeah,
Be
man.
creative.
that's the fraternity. I'm gonna reach out for y'all to help me with my costume.
Yeah, right on.
I hear that. Hey, look, I got a question though. As kids, because we're talking to our business partner, our friend T, and he said in St. Louis when they went trick or treating, they actually had to say like a trick or
They had to
What?
they had to do a trick or say a riddle or do something
Really?
else. Yeah.
to get the candy.
No, that was like how they did Halloween out there.
Yeah.
Nah.
Because we was telling them like we just say trick or treat and just get the candy.
And he's like,
no,
what?
we used to
That's it?
actually like have to impress them to get the candy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would have been the end of my trick or treating days. I'm not going.
This kid ain't got no talent, man. Shut the door.
Just give me the candy. I'm out.
Man, I feel like during Halloween, as my kids get older, I would like to say I would be relaxed with them just going out by themselves and doing it, but at the same time, I don't know.
Man,
I feel like it's different these days. So I don't.
I think it's what we talked about before. Like when
Yeah.
we were doing that, it wasn't just like going by yourself or like with one other. You was in a group. We was
group,
mobbing
like
through the
group,
neighborhood with
yeah.
the neighbors, friends from school, whatever. Like
Yeah.
it was deep.
Yeah, that makes sense. If it's like that, then I'll do it.
it's hard too because yeah, you're right. Because there aren't those big groups. I don't see kids now have big groups of friends, right? Like when we were in school, you just associated with the people in your school or your class, and then outside of school, whatever the case may be, your community. So it just was big groups of people mobbing. Now these kids just one or two friends. I'm not letting you go out by yourself with your one friend. Like,
I'm sorry. It made me think about something. When you said one friend, it made me think about, I believe Marcus said he saw it on some sort of social media platform where this parent said if the kid grows up in a one-parent household, their kids can't hang out with them.
in a one-parent household.
One-parent household with a kid.
Yeah, so this is a talk show host on a show that my wife loves. Her name's Karen Hunter. And she said that's how she was raised. Her dad would not allow her to hang out with kids that grew up in a single-parent household. And her dad was a local grocery store owner. And he said he did employ those kids. Like, it wasn't personal to the kids. He still employed them, gave them opportunity, but he didn't want his daughter hanging out with them.
That's interesting. I never heard that before.
Yeah, me either. That was kind of shocking to me.
That's the first time I've ever even heard anything resemble that. Like I never heard it before at all. That's crazy.
What do you think?
What would the premise be behind that though? Like, is it because you think they have past trauma or they're missing something in their life so they're not capable of doing other things? Like, what would be the reason why you would say I wouldn't let them do that?
Yeah, I wish I had the clip and we could all just listen to it.
Yeah, 'cause
I got it secondhand from my
Yeah,
wife.
yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
even hear the clip actually, but I just thought it was an interesting enough topic. But I'm assuming that it's like because they have some kind of personality trait that he wouldn't want to rub off on. I don't know exactly.
Yeah. Or you could assume that they might be missing some traits or other qualities coming, that come from a two-parent household, I guess.
Yeah.
Versus a one-parent household. I don't necessarily think I would do that. I mean,
I will say this, although I don't agree with the sentiment like your kid can't hang out with another kid, I do think, to your point, that those kids do grow up with certain qualities or I don't know what word I'm looking for, but they have certain actions that later on in life you can tell that they had one parent. So maybe they can tell as the adult, maybe they can tell that this kid only has one parent in the household. You know what I mean?
I could see that, but wouldn't that go along the same lines as like the sentiment of when boys are raised by their mothers versus with their fathers? Because then my thing is, you were raised by your mom, right? And so it's like you don't have the quality. You don't come off to me as, and I've known you for all my life, that you don't come off with qualities of, oh, he didn't have a 2-parent household or he was missing his father. And I'm saying that in the sense of how you were brought up by just your mom and you being a man.
Yeah, I don't think that those qualities show up in an everyday conversation. I think they show up in intimate conversations or
Okay.
more close. I don't know.
Right.
More close situations.
Like it'll come out during
like,
those times, not just in a general.
I actually just got the chills that you said this because I wanted to talk about this at a later time, but I'll talk about it now. I personally think that because my mom was the one who raised me, it affects me in my relationships today. So, like, even with Janae, if she comes to me with like a problem or something, I think because my mom had this like strong black woman, strong complex where she had to overcompensate.
Yeah.
I do this all the time and don't realize it. Like if
Things
Janae
aren't
has
as big of a deal.
No, not necessarily that, but like if Janae has an issue with me, I then get defensive and like feel like I have to prove myself. Like
I see.
And my mom did the best she could, but I can see that showing up in my everyday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if that.
I think you're onto something with that, but to me, it's still like I can't help but feel that parent has an opportunity to bridge the gap for those kids. Like, you influence kids that come into your household and spend time around your situation.
Agreed.
And growing up, I was heavily impacted by going to my friend's house.
Who had a 2-parent household?
And 2-parent households. I mean, I had a 2-parent household, but give or take,
Yeah.
But my family wasn't religious. I had friends whose family was religious, and I would go to church with them. Like, I just feel like as a parent, you have the opportunity still to extend beyond your kids and to still make an impact and not just disregard kids like that. I could see if they were problems or like if they were actually disrupting the way your kid was once you had them around each other.
Right.
But I feel like that's a missed opportunity still.
Well, because then I think, and obviously I'd be reaching, but it's like, what if all 3 of us thought that way, but our kids have friends that came from a single parent household and we thought that way? It's like, that kid is really going through something now because it's like they can't make real friends.
And it's not because of them.
They can't make no real connection, and it's all because something that was not their fault.
And what if a kid lost a parent due to a tragedy?
Right.
And it wasn't a deadbeat parent situation.
Right.
Now that kid's being penalized for that?
Yep.
No, that's real.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't agree with what he was saying, but it did make me think like maybe that parent or she, whoever it was that was saying it, maybe they do see something that's impacting their child in that way. But yeah,
that's possible.
Yeah.
And they're within their right as a parent,
Absolutely.
I can't tell nobody how to parent.
Yeah,
just personally for me, I would look at that as an opportunity because I know that people reached their hand out to me as a kid when they probably didn't have to. And their kids probably had stuff going on that could be considered better or more structured or whatever than I did, and they still loved me and gave me a chance. So
yeah.
And we all need to give each other grace.
For real.
Everyone's situation isn't the same, like you said.
I feel like there's not enough of grace out there.
Man,
I feel like people don't give anyone grace. That's how I see it, but
that's
really.
very true.
None.
I think from my experience too, there's a lack of grace out here in these streets.
Yeah.
But as far as the kid having troubles making friends, you brought that point up. Do you guys feel like that can be a struggle for you guys at all? Do you guys fear that at all in your parenting, like your kid not being able to make friends and connections?
Nah, I don't. I think it's just about the opportunities. Are you taking them around kids? Are you putting them in an environment where they feel comfortable? Do they know how to introduce themselves to another kid? Do they know how to share? I haven't had any problem with it. The only times that I would say that Anna sticks to herself too much is when she really don't have the opportunity. But anytime she's dropped around some kids, she's social butterfly. And I would assume my son is going to be the same way.
That's real. What about you, Dre?
So I'll start with the younger one. no, I don't think she gonna have no problems. I feel like when she warms up to kids, same thing. When she gets dropped off with some kids, it might take her a few seconds just to kind of scope out the scene, but for the most part, she good. For the older one, I think obviously she's on the spectrum, and I know I keep bringing it up, but it does play a factor in my life and her life as a child. So I think part of the issue that comes in is that she's just a people person, right? That is part of what comes with that situation, is that she wants to say hi to everybody. She want to give a hug to everybody. And I love that for her, and I love that she's that way, because she don't care, right? She doesn't know that maybe people don't want that, but she's just going to do it anyway. But that could hurt her as a child, right? Because let's be honest, the world is the world, and how it is how it is. And so there are times when she might be with a group of kids and she just wants to genuinely play and do stuff. And some kids I can see are like,
Not
feeling it. And that's, again, that's every kid's right and absolutely right. But for her, sometimes it doesn't affect her from what I can see, but it affects me because I'm thinking that, right? Like, man, I don't want her to not be able to make friends, because then people feel like she's too, I don't know what you call it, but, that's I don't think she has trouble making friends, but again, I think that there are some things that will create other people, issues for other people. So,
yeah, that's interesting that you say that, because I've mentioned before that Janae has a cousin, and he's complete opposite. He don't want nobody to touch him. You know what I mean? So just seeing that every kid is different, and you know what I mean. But I'd like you to. I mean, I don't want you to breeze past it if you feel comfortable, like you talking about that. Just your, I don't know how it is for you.
Yeah.
Parenting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with it. I mean, I think it's what's funny is that this week she started school. She was really supposed to start school last week, but we transferred her to a new school from the one she was at. And for people who don't know, there's this whole world of school for people who have needs, right? So you got to go through this IEP process, which is getting evaluated and making sure whatever those tests and stuff are, right? Get all this stuff transferred to the new school and all that, but it does add an extra layer of things. So I did feel kind of like a certain way, or I felt kind of sad, or however you want to say it, because she was supposed to start school last week. We show up at the school. Oh, you don't have this paperwork. Oh, you need this. Oh, and I assume in my brain, if you're someone who don't have those things, or your kid or child doesn't have those things, then it's a breeze, right? As long as I got my vaccinations or my vaccines and stuff like that, I'm good to start on the day I'm supposed to start. But it's like, I feel bad because now it's an added layer of thought in my brain, because now she's not starting school with everyone. She's a new kid all by herself, right? She's not starting on the same day, meeting the same kids at the same time. It's like all these group of kids had a week ahead of her to become friends or whatever that is.
So her transition
right. It's just like you transferring to a new school in high school, right? You the only kid walking in the class like, I'm new here, everybody. Yeah. And so now all eyes are on you and stuff like that. And so those things, sometimes hit me a little bit. I might drop a tear right now, but because it's hard. It's like, it's
you
just
care for her for sure. Like, because you care for her.
Yeah. So it's tough for that stuff. But on the flip side of that, man, I can't explain it. It makes me happy because she don't have. Oddly enough, it makes me happy because she don't have the same thought process as everyone in the world. She march to the beat of her own drum, right? She don't care what it is. She don't care if you don't like it. She like it. She gonna let you know what she do and do not like. She's very strong-willed, right? So it makes me happy for those things. So yeah,
man, that's great to hear. Extremely great to hear. I got chills again, bro. Why it's important to me to talk about that. We'll talk about your situation in general, is because I do feel like there's an ignorance in the world when it comes to kids with special needs.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like it's our duty to help change that narrative too.
Yep. Yeah.
Because everyone is different. Everyone has different abilities, and you you shouldn't be treated differently or have to feel a way about those things. So I'm extremely happy that you say your daughter doesn't, she don't care. She,
Yeah, and I had to. My wife, she figured it out. I wouldn't say she figured it out. She's a very knowledgeable woman, so I think she was already up on game with the spectrum and stuff to look out for, just because she just knew, right? And I didn't know what to look for. So at an early age, she kind of said, "Hey, I think this might be the situation." This was at like 2 years old. So I said, "Oh, okay, like you do the test or whatever." And sure enough, she did the evaluation and all that stuff, and she's very high functioning, but she is on the spectrum. And my outlook on it is, right, you do have people in the world that are like, I found the people that I do know who have kids that are on the spectrum, they are in denial, right? It's just a delay in speech, or it's just a delay in actions, and it's like, for me, my thing was, I'm glad we found out early, because I can get you all the need. Right, I'm in a position that I could provide all the needs you need. I got you. So you need to have somebody come to the house and work on this. Cool. You need to be in this program. That was my worry, was that I want you to get this as early as possible so that it can help you as early as possible, right? And I don't know what that means for her as an individual, but at least if I can provide it and you figure it out as a child, then I'm there to support you with whatever you need. So, yeah.
Man,
That's real.
Man, I love to hear that. I don't know if I've told our audience that I'm in school to become a special education teacher, but through volunteer hours and things like that, I've heard how difficult it is for parents, and how sometimes it sways them to be the exact opposite of how you are. Like you said, how they'll ignore it. So I'm proud of you for diving into
Appreciate
it and getting your daughter the help that she needs.
Yeah.
I really respect that.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, 100%, bro.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that could be hard, and it's a hard topic for men, as I feel like it's a hard topic for everybody, but men specifically, I can attest to it. Our mental health. I've never really dived or dove. I was about to say dive. I've really never dove into that conversation, but I do feel like it's extremely important. And I think I've told you guys too before, like, even when I don't know I need something, I'm sure you guys or people close to me can feel it. So like when we do this podcast, it's healing for me.
Yeah.
I want y'all to touch on what y'all feel about mental health, and like if you have a routine or something that you do to make sure that you're staying where you need to be mentally.
I wouldn't say I have a routine. It probably is a smart move to get one, to develop that. I think that the best thing that I do is create opportunities to be vulnerable, whether that's with my wife or my family or my close friends. I feel like I don't go too long without having a stimulating conversation about real things. And the people that know me well, like you said, they can see if something's off, or they'll know if I seem a little bit different. My experience with this mental health subject, I would say there was a time when I was depressed before, and I didn't know I was depressed. And I think me and my wife actually went through it together. And we didn't know for the longest time, but there's a lot of things that go on in life, and sometimes things jump at you all at the same time, and you're just carrying around such a heavy burden that you don't even know really how to fix it sometimes. And for me, that was what propelled us to have that stage of being depressed. If I'm being vulnerable, the time that this occurred for us was finding out about my daughter, who was 2 years old at the time that we were able to meet her, and knew about her and knew that she was mine and all that good stuff. And I was happy to get to know her. I was heartbroken that 2 years had gone by and I didn't know she was out there and she was mine. And it was devastating to my relationship at the time, because we had just gotten engaged, and obviously that's a big turn of events. You know, that's a big difference when you think about the picture that you're painting with somebody and the path that you're going down with somebody, to all of a sudden realize that you have a child that you now need to be responsible for. It turned our world upside down for a minute, because it just wasn't what we anticipated, and we had to adapt to it. And by the grace of God, we were able to figure out the best way to do that, to be able to support our daughter and to be able to still carry on our relationship and get to the next level. But it was a difficult time, and we went to therapy together.
I was gonna ask that.
Yeah, we went to therapy together, and I honestly don't believe we would have gotten through this without going to therapy.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Did you? I don't mean to stop you, but because of the therapy thing, did you find that difficult to? I know that's a thing. Number one, for men in therapy, that's a thing of like, oh, we don't really need therapy, and it's a thing for black men, especially, right? Telling other people your business. So say, did you find that part difficult to say, hey, I think, or you and your wife, hey, I think this is something we really should do? Like, did you even have to get past that hurdle?
Well, yeah. I give all the credit to her. I was opposed to it for kind of what you just said. Like, I was feeling like we can figure this out. We don't need somebody else in our business and this and that. And it got to a point where I was able to accept that this had happened to us, and my mind shifted into, okay, where do we go from here? She wasn't necessarily on that page right when I was. Right. It was more so like, we're in shambles, and she didn't really, you know, our minds work different in that way, in that moment. And I was, I guess, being tough, kind of like what you said that you got from your mom, just being tough and feeling like it is what it is, and we're here now. But I was, in having that mindset, I was neglecting how she felt and how hard it was for her to move forward. And it wasn't until we went to therapy that we were able to get on the same page.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, I commend you for that, because, I mean, exactly for the reasons I said, you clearly figured it out enough to say, look, I'm willing to do this because this is what's important to me. So, yeah, for sure.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
What about you? Have you ever dealt with depression? Or that you think you know of?
That I'm aware of?
Yeah.
I would, yes, and the word depressed and depression is hard for me in general, because it's, I don't know, I always have, like I said, I have this complex where it's like I got to prove myself. So I don't know if I've ever dove into that to know, but I do know there was moments in my life where I was like calling out for help, for real, because just don't know, like no guidance, no anything. And, you know, right after I would say senior year, high school, and a little bit after that. And I think it's because, you know, I don't want to speak for everybody, but me personally, I grew up my whole life feeling like, you know, I'm going to go to school, I'm going to go to college, I'm going to play basketball, I'm going to the league. Like, this literally the only thing I thought about was basketball and how I was going. And then when that doesn't happen, my world felt upside down. Like, I don't know what, my whole identity was in that. Like, this is what I'm going to do.
Right.
Literally, I had a Facebook post today, like, what 13 years ago today, I posted on my Facebook, like, I just need to change my mindset, so I'm going to the league so I can speak to the whole world. I literally said that on this date 13 years ago. And it's like, looking at that, I laughed because it was just like, I was just so...
You didn't even know.
Yeah.
Right.
No clue. But I think during that time is where I felt like that, when you don't have no guidance and nobody to tell you where to go. And if you do have those people to tell you where to go, you too young and dumb to listen. So yeah, I would say that was the time where I felt like my world was like, I didn't know what I was going to do. But
how do you feel like you transitioned out of that?
I think time did it. I don't think I did any work personally to change that for me. I think that I got around you. I got around friends that like distracted my time and made me feel like, all right, we just having fun for real. And I forgot about it. And I feel like that cycle probably lasted until we went back to citrus for real. Like,
Man, real turning point.
yeah, his, for background story, I know you don't know, but his grandma, Nana, she sat us down and have a, you know, she poured into us.
Yeah.
She made us watch these videos. She made us do these assignments.
Yeah.
Write a letter to ourselves, what we want to do in 5 years, and that was a
I need
turning
to holler
point.
at Nana.
Man,
Nah, for sure.
turning point in my life, man. I'm about to cry again, bro. They gifted me the letter I wrote to myself on my wedding day, and it was, man, I get emotional when I think about it, because it's like,
This full circle where it's like what you may have thought, or this letter to yourself.
man,
Yeah.
And when you read that letter, he did everything he said he wanted to do in that letter.
That's crazy.
The whole time, like, we're not even thinking about that letter day to day, you know what I
Right.
mean? But
Not
sitting
even
over here
realizing you're
crying.
working. Not even you're
crazy.
realizing you're working towards it. Like, you wrote it down, but you just let it be what it was, right? You wrote it down and probably out of sight, out of mind, not realizing that however much time goes by, you like, oh, damn, like I ended up here. And then you look back and you're like, I was working towards it
The whole time.
This whole time.
This whole
time.
Man. Hey, well, I don't want to make it a lighthearted situation. I'm over here crying, but like what Tyrese said, black men cry. He was crying the other day. Yeah, we cried, bro.
It's true. Yep.
nah, for real. That was a good interview.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny, but it was good too.
Yeah. That, I feel like you didn't touch on.
Kind of similar to you. I think. I don't think I can honestly say I don't think I've ever dealt with depression, but an identity situation, yes, for sure. I think same thing. Football my whole life until, from 5 years old until 20, whatever it was, that I stopped playing. But graduate high school, I knew I was going to graduate. I was going to go to college. I was going to play ball. I was going to get out. And it was going to be something involving football. I was going to the league. I was going to arena. I was going somewhere. Overseas, I don't know. But get to college and, transfer a couple different schools, get to a point where I'm in Mississippi, away from my family. And I think right then and there, after like the first semester or two, I kind of just like, I don't know if I want to really play ball no more, right? And I think some emotional things that came out of that were more so tied to like disappointment. I wasn't depressed about not playing anymore, although I knew, what am I going to do after this? I think in my mind, it was just like, well, I'm not going to play no more, so I'm going to figure it out. Go home and just live at home until I figure it out. But it was more so the disappointment to other people that kind of weighed on me a little bit of like, I got to call my dad to tell him when I come home for Christmas, I'm not going back, right? That's a whole nother conversation in itself because, right, all this stuff that we talk about fathers, that he poured all this stuff into me my whole life to call and say, sorry, man. Like, I appreciate it, but I'm not playing no more. So it was those things that weighed on me, and got home and same thing. I don't know, just live life until I was going to figure it out. Started working, and then I don't think I really did anything. Same thing. I don't really think I did anything to get over it except for just live life. And then I think eventually I probably had conversations with people to then move more past it to understand maybe my dad was initially mad, but he was okay with it in the end. And okay, well, I want to know what you're thinking about so that I can help you get past to the next point. So I think those things helped me, but other than that, yeah.
Yeah. I like that you touched on why you felt like that, and it was the expectation of the people around.
Yeah.
And I think that's what a lot of young men struggle with, is the expectation that other people put on them.
For sure.
And yeah, I like that you spoke on that. I don't know how we change that. Maybe we can change that with mentors, or with, I don't know how. Like maybe you guys have an idea how that can be changed, but I
feel
see
like
it a lot
with the sport thing particularly. I feel like that stems from us growing up and putting all our eggs in one basket, like basketball, football. What else? You feel me? Like we grew up thinking that was the one thing that was going to be a dream fulfilled, and that's what's going to make our life complete, and that's the biggest goal we have. But if that doesn't happen, we didn't really have a plan for that, or we didn't really even wrap our minds around that reality, what life looks like without that thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that did a lot of damage to us. I don't. So I guess if I were to say how to change that, it would just be to have options, to have an understanding of what other avenues are out there for you if it's not that one thing. Because you can still have aspirations, you know, you can still have goals of wanting to go to the league, but it shouldn't be that detrimental to you if it doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, just to piggyback off that a little bit, I feel like in hindsight, we can speak on that because, you know, we've lived through it.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel like at this point, us being at the big age we at now,
Mm-hmm.
we have a responsibility to give that back
For sure.
to these young kids, these young men that's out here living exactly how we was and
Right.
thinking that way.
Yep.
And I know when I was that age, I didn't have a mentor, but I'm seeing the importance of it, and I feel like we do need to be mentors to these younger generations.
For sure.
Moving
Agreed.
forward.
I think that is all. I think that's the first step to it. Period. Is just even for the young, young men out there, young boys out there, to know that they have people that they can look at as mentors. Us, whatever that group looks like, right? Is for them to have it in their mind, like, okay, I can go talk to Tyler. I can go talk to Mark and get some advice, whether I'm going to listen or not. At least they know in their mind they can come talk to people and, get information instead of just being out in the world thinking all my eggs are in this basket and I don't have nobody to tell me that there's other options in the world and my head's down and I'm going to the finish line.
Yeah, for sure. That makes me think of something too. I was talking to my friend. He's a few years younger than me, and he kind of looks at me as a mentor, but he was also telling me that he met this guy at the gym, and he always sees this guy at the gym, and he's like, man, I feel like for some reason, I feel like he has something like so beneficial to offer to me, like from a mentor standpoint. And he's like, we chop it up here and there, but I just don't really know how to approach asking him if he's okay being my mentor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know how to do that, or I guess how to make it a comfortable conversation to have.
Yeah.
Do y'all have any advice? I gave him what I thought, but I'm curious if y'all have any advice for someone that's seeking mentorship of how to approach that situation.
That kind of throws me off because I feel like if I'm putting myself in those shoes, not of you, friend, not of Monte, but of the guy in the gym, how I would want to be approached, and I don't think it actually matters. I think I would feel like honored that somebody viewed me in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
But I know for Monte, he's probably like, it's awkward.
It's an awkward
what I mean?
situation.
Like, how
Yeah.
do you? And to that, I would just say be relational. If you already been talking to him, it don't have to be this sit down. Hey, I need you to be my mentor.
Right,
like,
right.
You know,
And that's what I told him. Just don't make it all weird. Don't make it formal. Just rap with him.
Yeah. And I'm sure as time goes by,
You'll catch yourself
you
having
can get
more
into that conversation. You know what I mean?
And
Just
to
asking him.
me, the reason that you feel led to even do this is because he's giving off a certain amount
absolutely.
of,
Right.
So I think it just makes sense, like you saying, just don't overthink it.
Yeah.
I think, and I feel like that's easy. If you've already got to that point, like you said, it's just really just coming out and saying like, hey, the conversations we've been having, I've really been taking heed to it and taking things away from those conversations. And I, wanted to know if, you'd be willing to be my mentor or whatever the case may be. And then, like you said, naturally it's just going to progress into more conversations. And naturally then, hey, let's go, I don't know how old they are, let's go grab a beer. And then you just chopping it up like a brother,
Right.
Yeah.
type relationship. And you're not even realizing all those conversations you having just naturally, you catch yourself doing, you're like, oh snap, he did tell me this, this, and this. And it just ends up being what you want it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And to take this a little further, from that perspective, the younger person reaching up and talking and trying to get, how would you approach a younger person, you being the mentor to the mentee? How do you approach that? Because I feel like it might not be the same.
Wait,
to
if
somebody
you're asking if I'm asking a younger person like to be my mentor?
No,
to be the mentee.
Oh, to be the mentee.
So you're saying like you just see potential in this person,
Yeah.
but they need a little guidance, and you want to be the person to step in and.
I think it's honestly the same exact
You do?
situation. I think if you're that person, if you're the mentor and you see some potential in him, then let's take this example, right? You say the same thing. Hey, I see potential in you. The conversations we've been having, you really, I'm listening, and you're really saying some good things that you seem to have your life. You seem to have a plan of where you want your life to go, and I think I can add to that by just being your mentor.
Yeah, I agree.
I think
it's just as simple.
Yeah.
Just take them under your wing,
Yep.
create the opportunity.
And even that situation will happen naturally, right?
Why are you laughing, bro?
No, I'm laughing because I can see why he was having difficulties with it. Because, like, me being the opposite end, if I wanted to mentor somebody,
You feel like he should have made it clear already.
I feel like I would feel awkward too. Like, hey, what, like,
And he's like, I don't want no mentor.
yeah, like, yeah. But I
Yeah.
guess it's just a relational thing. If you already been chopping it up, it ain't gonna be nothing.
Yeah.
That's a good point. So you feel like it's more awkward asking for the mentor than offering the mentorship
It's
based off
more-
of assumption. Is that what you're saying? Like
Or
Monte's
you're
position?
saying the opposite.
I'm saying the opposite. I would feel more awkward
To offer
Oh,
a
to offer
mentorship.
it, not knowing if they're looking for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The same thing. It'd be kind of hard though.
I
if
feel
you've
like
already
if they're
been
really
chopping it up.
inquisitive and
Yeah.
I feel like you can tell if somebody's
Right.
kind of looking for that.
Right.
But yeah, we ain't been in the room, so I don't know
Yeah.
for this exact. I want to ask also on this topic for people that don't recognize the purpose of a mentor or like the need of it. Can y'all just kind of give what you think makes a good mentor or why it's important for people who? Because I think there's a lot of people that don't even realize they're missing this, and this can add a lot of value to their life.
Personally, I think what makes a good mentor is someone who you personally feel is successful or a direction you want your life to go in. This person probably has the qualities of any leader that you can think of, a good, strong leader. They're probably financially good, you know what I mean? Probably speak well. To be honest, they're probably in shape.
Something as
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're probably in shape. It's kind of hard for me to answer that too because I don't have a mentor. I don't think I've ever had one. Well, besides Nana.
You may not have realized it was, but it was.
I mean, I've had coaches and stuff like that, you know what I mean, where I listen to, but I don't think I've had, other than Nana, people who were intentional about seeing my growth and, like, helping me get there.
Yeah.
Man.
I think to add on to it, I think it's the somebody that would make is the guidance you've the things that you've taken in your life over a course of time to be able to navigate certain things to offer guidance to someone is what would make a good mentor, right? You can take your life experiences and express them to the mentee in a way that they can comprehend and take from it what they will, right? They don't have to listen to everything, but they're taking bits and pieces from those conversations and that guidance you're giving them to say, man, that is the way I want my life to go, or I was going this way and you said something that made me think a completely different way, to be able to veer off and say, hey, I should try this, or I should do this, or maybe I just need to take that leap of faith to try something else because they weren't thinking that way before. Yeah. I think when you can be relatable and offer those things based off of your life experiences, then that makes a good mentor.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And everyone's different, right? It's not, I don't think there's never one way to be a mentor. I think it can come in all shapes and fashions and forms, right? I think something as simple as being in shape, right? I do it all the time when I'm in the gym or I'm doing something and I might see somebody with my build of body and be like, I wonder what he does. Is it the way he's eating? Is it the way, because that's what I aspire to look like, or whatever, right? Something as simple as that, and just going and asking, hey, what are the steps that you took to get here? And they may say, hey, man, I was 400 pounds and I had to do this, and this, right? I'm like, damn, I did not think of that. Now I'm in a situation, right, that I'm gathering information from somebody. So,
yeah, that's good. I feel like it's just, at its core, it's just relationship building. The thing that makes it mentorship is you're asking somebody who particularly has shared life experience to where you think you're going or want to go. But it's really just networking or, you know.
Yeah, agreed.
Man, it kind of makes me think, can your parents be your mentor? Or is that two totally different things?
Not to me, but because they're always going to come from a place of a parent. A mentor sometimes, even if it's your family member, it's not your parent, right? I think Nana, for example, Nana's coming from a place of, I'm Nana, but based off of my life experiences and these things, I think I could pour into you something. But when it's your direct parent, your dad or your mom, I think they're always going to come from a place of a parent standpoint instead of just saying, sometimes the parents come off as you should or you should not do this, right? A mentor is going to tell you, hey, these are the things or reasons why you may not want to do that or whatever that is. I think, again, parents are more direct in what they're saying.
I think you're right. It's guidance versus direction.
Direction, correct, yeah.
I agree with you.
That was what I was looking for, yeah.
That makes sense, for real. That was a good question. I never even thought about it that way.
When we were talking, I'm thinking like maybe my dad's my mentor, but I wouldn't consider him my mentor because he's my dad. I mean, let's be honest, up until a certain point, you ain't got no choice. I mean, for real. Yeah. It's direction versus guidance. Now, I probably could see my dad being my mentor now in my life as a grown man with a whole family, right? I could see that because now he is giving me guidance. We talked about it probably on the first or second episode of like, he just gives me advice and he tells me, look, you could take it or not take it. That's up to you. I just rather tell you and then let that be that.
Yeah.
Cool. That's guidance, right? That's not telling you got to go this direction.
That makes sense. Do you guys, I feel like we didn't answer the question of, do you guys have a mentor? I mean, I know I said I don't.
I don't.
I would consider my father-in-law a mentor. And before him, I feel like there's been moments, like from coaches or, I don't know. It's interesting to me because I feel like I'm always like taking stuff from people, but I don't know if it was like an actual mentor. Like, because to me, a mentor is someone you can always call on this person. Like, they understand the dynamic of that relationship, and it's an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would classify my father-in-law as that, to answer the question.
That's good stuff, man. Good stuff. Shout out to Mr. Miles.
My dog.
Shout out, man. Shout out to all the guys out there, and all men and women who are okay with being a mentor and take on that role.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely needed.
Yeah. Agree. 100%.
I don't want to switch topics or nothing, but that's kind of what I gotta do. In relation to your household, you guys, obviously we're all fathers, we're all married. Who comes first in the house? Is it your spouse or your kids? I know I always see those dumb, like if your kids or if you were stranded on a boat, but none of that matters. I want to know who comes first.
I can answer it. I can go first.
No, I think that we probably all have the same answers. It's just the background in which there's other things, right? So go ahead, say what you're going to say.
Wifey come first in every scenario possible, yeah. She can sit passenger. Mom Dukes can get in the back, because they do that same comparison with your mom and your wifey comes first.
Yeah.
Me and wifey, we won. We're married.
Right.
That's it. Intertwined. Like, she comes first. Without her, it's no babies. Without, without, I don't know. It's just she's the priority. Kids is right under her. That's our family.
Yeah.
Everybody else is after that. To me, that's the hierarchy.
I agree with that. So let me just throw a little.
You sound like you don't.
This is why I wanted to go first.
I do agree with that. Wife comes first. I think for every reason that you just said, including the fact that, especially for me, so I'm gonna throw that in there. I have 2 daughters, right? I don't have sons. So my thing is I need to show them how a man should be treating a woman. So they're gonna use me and her, or her and I, as an example in my household.
Sure.
Absolutely. But there's one slight problem.
Big breath.
There's one slight problem, and part of that goes into when you have children, and again, you have children, no matter how many, 1, 5, 10, whatever. My kids are an extension of me, no matter who in this world says anything. It doesn't matter, my wife included. My wife can get upset at me today and choose to leave. Divorce, leave, separate, whatever the case may be. But my kids are my kids. They're not going nowhere. And I say that, right, the other stuff plays a factor, but I mean that in the sense of they're my blood. My blood is always going to be my blood, right? Those are the realities of relationships and marriage, are that no matter how much you want to control it, those people do have an opportunity to leave. And sometimes, what?
Ain't no leaving, bitch.
On another episode,
No,
I think I remember you saying once we get married, that's it. Ain't no option.
I'm talking about this situation.
Ain't no option.
No, there is no option.
Now he sound like there's an option.
No. I'm saying there are people in the world that is a thing, right?
We ain't talking about them.
Okay, let me use this example. Something so simple. I got a tattoo on my side of my mom and my sister's name. My mom and my sister are going to be my mom and my sister for eternity. I'm never getting a woman's name tatted on my body. Ever. Even if I think that we're in this for life, till death do us part, is that always reality? And it's not, sometimes it's not your choice.
I hear you, but there's moms that leave their kids behind. Like, even being grown, your mom could make the decision that, like, one day she don't feel like being around you. She probably won't. She could.
Yeah.
Like, if we talking about free will,
Yeah.
that doesn't just apply to the wife, I guess is what I'm getting at. Your kids could grow up and be like, man, I ain't going to dad's house no more. Like, it's the same thing.
It's not the same thing.
I think they all have a choice still.
They all have a choice. You're right. Free will. Each one of those people have a choice. Your wife, your kids, and your kids individually, right? They're not a group. They individual,
Right,
so
yep.
they could choose. Your wife can leave, choose to leave based off of free will.
Not mine.
Not mine. So let me get that straight. She's not going nowhere.
Not mine.
She can choose to leave free will. Your kids can choose to leave free will. My kids are my kids, no matter what. You cannot talk to me from this day forth. I will always tell someone that I have blood in this world that is my kids. You could choose based off of your wife's free will to say, I'm no longer married. I don't have a wife. And that be in the wind forever. But my kids are my blood. They're an extension of me that are always going to be in the world. So again, you could not talk to me today and the rest of my life, but every time I speak to somebody and they say, how are your kids doing?
Yeah.
They great.
I feel like it's a semantic thing there.
It is. It does come
Because
down to semantics. I mean,
I think it's a lot of power in the fact that you made a vow with this person between y'all and God. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that supersedes anything else.
I agree.
To me, it's just like, I don't know. I just think that's at the top when you think about, like, okay, kids.
So then why do people use free
can
will?
have
Why do
kids.
people use free will to do it?
Well, that's their situation.
That's what,
But I
I'm
know
just
what
playing,
that.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
I know what that meant to us.
Yeah.
And I've heard you say out of your own mouth what that meant to you.
Yeah, no, I'm just playing devil's advocate.
For sure.
I completely agree. I'm not. I made the vow, so the vow is the vow. That's set in stone. It's just that those are realities in the world for people.
Sure.
That people do get divorced. I mean, we can't be naive to that, obviously.
No, yeah.
Right. So
yeah.
that's all I was throwing a little something in there.
You should tat her name, bro.
Who? No.
Hey, look,
I got my whole body is tatted in the front. I'm never getting her name.
You should do it, bro.
I did tell her I messed. She gets so mad because I told her I'll get your initials. She like, oh yeah, that sounds good. And then she thought about it. She said, wait, we got the same initials. I said, oh my bad.
I feel what you're saying, and I know you're playing devil's advocate, but I'm playing devil's advocate to that situation. Like he said, it's a choice, and regardless if they leave or not, it still is what it is. You know what I mean? Like
That they're gone?
No, that they were your wife. Even if they decided to leave, that was a decision that y'all had made in that moment for eternity. Now, whether you choose to honor that, that's a different story.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just like he said, like, it's no different than your kids. They can choose to leave at some point too. It's really the same.
Yeah, but if we play semantics, I was married. I do have kids. Those are two different things.
I did have a relationship with my kids.
But it doesn't
Semantics.
negate I have kids.
If they don't say I have a dad, if they disown you,
That is true. That's true.
Yeah.
Semantics, like you said.
it is.
I'd never get tatted though.
You never get a tattoo? Or you're saying a woman's name?
Probably never get a tattoo. But if I did, I don't think I would mind getting Janae's name for real. It's my wife.
And they can always cover it up.
Hey, yo,
He's tripping. Like, bro, you can't treat it permanent, but then still have that little bit of wiggle room. You feel me?
I just like to spice it up a little.
You're crazy.
Man, we got a public service announcement coming from my guy right here to the
This
right.
on? Can y'all hear? Sit up for this. I'm gonna be cool about this, but I'm serious about this. Men, and I guess this goes to women too, but I'm sure I'm really speaking to men. If you have kids out there, be a father. Once you have kids in this world, be a father. Nothing else is more important than that. No job, nothing else. There's no good excuse to have kids out here and not care for your kids. Now, even if you're in that boat right now, it's not too late to be a father. Like, stop thinking of excuses, stop thinking of reasons, stop justifying your behavior, and just be a man and be a father. These kids need you badly. And there's no more important job in the world than being a father. So it doesn't matter how long you've waited to this point, you still got time. Yeah, just stop waiting on them to reach out to you. Stop blaming their mama. Stop, whatever the circumstance is, it's not okay. Be a father. You owe that to them. They didn't ask to be here. You brought them into the world. Be a father. Be a man. I don't know how else to say it.
Hey, look, and I'm going to piggyback off that, man. Him talking about, because I know a lot of people's excuses be like, baby mama be tripping or whatever. I get it. You know what I mean? Everyone's situation is different. I'm not saying that you 100% in the wrong, but you're still wrong. You know what I mean?
You're right.
Yeah.
There is no situation that should stop you from trying to. I mean, every single day, trying to get to your kids.
Yep.
I don't care if you got to write a letter to them every day just to show them you care. You better write a damn letter.
Yep.
Do something. You know what I mean? Because when they grow up, one day they gonna be asking like, man, why didn't my dad come back, or why my dad didn't do this? And you can at least show them that you was trying. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Don't stop trying. You got to be in your kid's life, man.
It's never too late.
Yeah, I saw a video of this man that was he was like getting emotional. I saw it on Instagram. And he was crying and he was like, "Man, just be there for your kids. Like, I don't have to say nothing else. Just be there for your kids.
Period.
Like, I don't work. I don't have the best job. I don't have this. I don't have that. But my kids know I'm there for them, and I'm always going to be there for them. And that's what your kids need, regardless of your situation in life. Just be there for your kids. Make the effort, because they know when you're making an effort and when you're not. It's just that simple. I mean, it may not be easy, but it's simple. It may not be easy, but it's simple. Be there for the kids. No matter what, be there for your kids.
It's like that, man.
Just like that.
It's been another great episode. I didn't cry. We didn't call out we didn't call out the deadbeats. We did a whole bunch in this episode, man. Like I said, it's been a great episode. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Fly Father Fraternity. Follow us on Instagram. We ain't got a Facebook, like Marcus said.
We ain't got no Facebook.
We ain't got no
If you
Facebook.
found the Fly Father Fraternity Facebook, that ain't us.
It ain't it.
Ain't it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, until next time, stay fly with the guys. We out.
Out.
Send us them guests. We need guests.
Yes, topics, all that stuff.